Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will cover coming up with a game idea. This is a very important part of game development, but can often be misled as the most important part. Take into account that you will likely meet many obstacles during development. Therefore, it is extremely important to create an idea that is both achievable to your skills and your standards. Many people cannot tell the difference between creating an idea and stealing an idea. Obviously, we all want to create a game like League of Legends, RuneScape, or Call of Duty, but people often believe that their project differs from where they got their inspiration. I think it is safe to say that a game with the same functions but a different theme to Call of Duty is not an original idea. However, modern times have proved that originality isn't where the most successful ideas come from. In fact, derivative ideas are leaps and bounds more likely to be sold than original. This is due to a level of comfort that the consumer feels when they enter a game for the first time. Noticing that they have played something similar and enjoyed it will make them feel the same rush and comfort that they got during the previous experience. So this is a great way to give a community what they want. Choosing your inspiration is also incredibly easy. Just type most downloaded games of 2017 and take a look at the top 10, giving you a rough idea of what people want. Obviously, there are more thoughtful components to making an idea. A good start is to find out what demographic you are targeting. Games are played by everyone, but it is easy to associate the device people use at their age range. Look at yourself, for example. Think back to when you last played a console. In comparison to a mobile device, has the only device you've ever used been a PC or Mac, or even a tablet? Look at the people around you and ask the same question. This information is extremely important to larger companies because the goal or outcome is usually to make the highest profit possible. This can only be achieved by having a target audience, which brings me to my next point, research. A fair amount of research is needed to get this information, but to save you some time, I'm going to share with you what I've learned. Under 5-year-olds are usually on mum and dad's mobile. 5 to 13-year-olds are often on console. 13 to 20-year-olds are usually going through the console to PC or Mac changes, and anybody above 20 is usually on a tablet, mobile, or a PC. Keep in mind that this is not actual data, but it gives you a fair idea of who attaches to what. Let's say you wanted to make a PC game. Take into account the age range you are targeting and craft an idea around that. This doesn't necessarily mean that you need to give the correct age rating to the game. It simply means that the given age are more likely to play. Call of Duty, for example, holds a 16+ rating in New Zealand, but I've been playing it since I was 8 years old. Also, thinking along the lines of complexity is very helpful. We do not expect many people below the age of 13 to play games like Dota 2 because of the extreme learning curve. Probably the reason very few MOBA-styled games are found on console. Games like Call of Duty require very little learning. Simply run and shoot and scream at other players, making it perfect for console. Now let's take a look at gender. This is obviously a soft spot for a lot of people, but for the sake of respect, I'm using examples with two genders, male and female. Important to note that both play games for different reasons. Notice that many females play games via mobile devices and a very few are on PC. My sister and her friends are heavily into games that have been influenced by real-world tabletop mechanics. When the mechanics are similar to the playstyle of tabletop games, usually they will have heard of it or have played it before. Candy Crush, Guess the Word, Draw Something are all great to target that demographic. When it comes to males, we seek competitive games. Multiplayer is almost a must-have for most games nowadays because a large population of males enjoy the competitive side more than the story. This is why League of Legends, Call of Duty, and StarCraft have a high male population. Even esports dedicated to these games prove that they are most likely played to battle against others, therefore competitive. This brings me to my next topic and probably the most important, using your skills. As a programmer, I am fairly confident that I can make the functions of a game. I can playtest, I can build, I can even do a bit of sound design. However, I lack the ability to make artwork. Many companies have similar problems, but they also have the money to pay for people that fill in their gaps. A lot of indie developers join Facebook groups or forums to search for people to do this for free. Now, I'm not a big fan of these people, but I can understand the confusion. We are all good in some areas and bad in others. Everyone would love to be good at all areas, but the harsh reality is that we are imperfect. The best we can do is create an idea that is achievable by limiting concepts or functions we know we can't deliver. Do not strive to make the next League of Legends if you are an artist, and do not try to make the next Ori and the Blind Forest if you are a programmer. Unless you are able to deliver every single component, it is very unlikely your game will work to your standards unless you make an idea that matches your skills. As for those of you searching for people to work on your game for free, put yourself in their shoes. If they are successful in creating the artwork for your game and you have promised them revenue share, then they are now putting the fate of their money into your hands, trusting you will complete your side of the game. If you fail, you have wasted their time and their effort. Offering a small amount of cash beforehand seals the deal, showing them that you will work hard on the project, as will they. So we've chosen our inspiration, demographic, and an idea that matches our team's skills. Finally, we move on to another crucial part known as workload. Workload is extremely important towards the motivation to complete the project. It may be high and exciting whilst you have come up with the idea, but through personal experience, I can safely say that it will slow down after a few days. You must be able to complete the project to a standard that will leave you motivated to continue working. If you are unable to maintain the level of enthusiasm you start your project with, then it will very often crash and burn. I have made this mistake in the past, believing that I could achieve the same content as a company does with 100 workers in a much shorter time span. We can take a look at some developers that had very few workers and compare ourselves to them. The creator of Minecraft is a perfect example of a person who created a game concept, then required the help of others to push the project forward. If you expect that you can create a game like Minecraft as we know it today, I do not want to crush your dreams, but take into account that the game has a simplistic concept and still required multiple people to achieve it in its current state. The point of this is to ensure that your idea can be made into a playable game before you require other people. This idea that you will eventually try to fund needs to be in a playable state in order to earn the trust of your audience. They will be extremely satisfied with the end result that one man can achieve and hopefully will help fund your project. So if you're planning on making a MOBA, which usually takes a lot of people to create, then I would suggest getting your ideas and themes to a playable yet conceptual state where the audience and yourself can judge whether or not it is worth funding. All of this ties into workload, to create an idea that you are dedicated to. When you lose the will to continue, the project will slowly die out, so keep your ideas simple and light, shedding a glimpse of the final product you have set to achieve. On a final note, do not give up on your projects. If you have created an idea that does not conform to what I have said, then it doesn't mean it will not work. Many ideas take people years to create, from people who work part-time in other professions and of all ages. The idea is 100% important, but it can change frequently and often progress as you progress. The concepts I mentioned are from what I have come to learn as I have made games. A helpful tip for everyone still listening is that great ideas come from other people, so keep talking to others and you will eventually find an idea in the real world. So thanks for watching everyone. Sorry if I have been talking slower than usual, but it turns out there are a lot of people in my audience that do not speak English very well, so I hope that this has helped you guys out a little bit. Don't forget to check out my other tutorials, and I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you next time.